Into the dessert course, Profiteroles. Profiteroles is something we always have on the menu at dinner time and lunchtime, and we switch out the ingredients that go inside the Profiteroles with the season. For the Profiteroles though, your oven now needs to go to 325. I don't know why my oven is so loud right now, but anyway, you need to drop it down to 325. So after you did the steak, when you cook your steak, you go to eat, then you can drop the oven down. Actually, I'm lying completely. You should probably do the Profiteroles many hours early in the afternoon or the day before, now that I think about it. Because Profiteroles hold. You can make the dough, you can make these, pack these out, and put them in little Ziploc baggies and keep them in your freezer for about 2 to 3 months, and then they're fine. So this is something you can even do the day before. When we're doing these for large groups and large events, we'll make these the day before, and then we'll just cut them in half. You just kind of see how airy and open they are. And then we'll just leave them out to dry overnight uncovered. So they kind of harden up a little bit, and then it helps them out. Or I'll just toast these off. You're gonna get a bag of how to shoot in your kit, in your box, your weekend box. Now when we make this is flour, egg, a little bit of milk, and it's all mixed together while it's hot. But this is gonna go in your bag, it's gonna be cold. You're gonna need to leave this out for about an hour before you make your Profiteroles. You need to take this bag out of the refrigerator, leave it at room temperature, and I would leave it there probably for about an hour to an hour and a half. And you're gonna wanna squeeze it every now and then to break it up and to make it mix up and make sure it thaws out. Because we really want it soft, you're gonna be wrestling with it. So you're gonna get this piping bag, and we're gonna give you a piece of parchment paper like this that you'll wanna put on a baking tray at home. With the bag, you wanna kinda cut the tip off. I usually do it at a bias, kind of an angled cut. And you want to put just a little bit down on the pan itself. It might be 24. Just so the parchment paper doesn't go around everywhere. This kind of acts as a glue, really, to hold it down. So as you can see, that'll kind of hold that so the pan doesn't blow up around. Then when it comes to piping the Profiteroles, you're just doing, you want to twist this a little bit, and that'll cause pressure to push it down a little bit. You just kind of want to do a little around. And then you can cut it, or just pinch it off, and then use a little bit of water on your finger and kind of smash it down a little bit, just to round it out. So you could do a large one if you really want, and get a little bit, something a little bit bigger. And you have to realize this is going to grow probably about 3 times the size, so I want to move that one kind of more towards the middle there. Right? Or this is perfect for if you're doing eclairs. A little like ladyfinger style. And then there again, just use that little bowl of water you have here just to kind of round off the bottom. It won't stick to your finger once you have that water on that. And that's how you kind of shape them. Now these are going to go into the oven for 24 minutes. Sylvia is our pastry chef, and she told me exactly 24 minutes, not 22, not 26. You're going to believe her? We're going to go ahead and put these in the oven for 22 minutes. Now while that's going on, while that's working, you guys are going to make chocolate sauce. We're going to give you the chocolate that we're using. It's a combination of it's actually a milk chocolate, not a bittersweet chocolate. You're going to put the chocolate chips in a mixing bowl. And you're going to have a pot of water. Now in this water, in this pot, it's nothing but water. It's just water, and you want to have a full blast where it's starting to come to a simmer. Chocolate goes right in there. And at this point, I usually add 1 or 2 pieces of butter in there, or you can have a splash of cream in there as well, so that this will help it melt and turn into a bit of a sauce. It's the sauce right here. So you kind of see how that's kind of starting to melt a little bit. Butter is now walking. There we go. Okay. Now I already have these made. Just to kind of speed up a little bit of the process and show you what we're doing. What I like to do is kind of cut them in half, and open them. And like I said, you can either leave them out overnight or lightly toast them, which is what we're going to do. If you want to make the profiteroles the day before, it'll make things probably a lot easier for you as far as putting everything together the night of your dinner. Okay. With these, now I split them in half, we're going to toast it. And you're going to be able to probably see in the oven, these are already starting to rise up a little bit. They're starting to kind of develop, they're kind of starting to pull that, push out, and then soon they're going to balloon up. All right, so we'll check our chocolate sauce. So usually I'll add like a little splash of heavy cream in here, or a little extra butter. I'm going to turn this down, it's getting kind of hot. If it gets too hot, it'll start to kind of seize a little bit. We are going to put a little splash of heavy cream in there. And this will be in your kit as well, just a touch. That helps so that chocolate doesn't seize up. And we're also going to give you a little bit of espresso. You're making espresso chocolate sauce. So we'll put that in there too. And then kind of stir that up a little bit. There you go. It smells great. Keep whisking it. There we go. Okay. I'm going to turn that off. It's melted, it's incorporated, everything's pretty much emulsified. I'm going to take that out, it's going to keep moving around. Put this aside. And then what we're going to give you in your kit, you're going to get Nutella, which is basically a chocolate hazelnut puree in your bag. Again, cut that off, kind of at more of an angle. And then you're going to also have whipped cream. So what we're going to do is we'll place this right here. You can see how it's starting to rise up now. You can see how they're starting to kind of really pop off. Okay. With the tops, I like to dip them so you get that little crust on top. Bottoms. And then there should be one more. You can toast them a little longer if you want. I just did that pretty quickly, but you can do like more 5 minutes to give you a little more of a harder kind of crust to that. Now on the plate, there we go. A little Nutella down. What that's going to do is it's going to also hold these in place. And then we're going to put a little Nutella inside each one. Then you get the whipped cream. Big old dollop of whipped cream in each one. Then we'll place the lids right back on top of these guys. Now you could let this chocolate set up on the lid if you want to do those and let them set off to the side for a half an hour. And then they'll get a little bit more kind of a harder set. But what we're also going to do is move this guy over there. And if you're really a chocolate fanatic, this is where you can put more, just dripping right off the top of each one. This is what we do a lot here at the restaurant. And the last thing you're going to get are some candied hazelnuts, which we will just cook those in a hard sugar. And some of this stuff is really kind of a little smaller, kind of put on the very top. And Clean plates always important. There you go. That's it.